In a recent video, I referred to the Vietnam War as the deepest wound in the American psyche. I am afraid that the Iraq War will wound us more deeply, casting a pall over our national life for decades to come, no matter how it turns out. As we drifted into the disaster of Vietnam, we were propelled by a large wave of anti-communist hysteria that seemed fully justified at the time. We had watched large parts of Eastern Europe disappear behind the Iron Curtain. We had seen China and Cuba fall to the communists, and they truly seemed like a massive threat to our survival. When the Soviet Union collapsed, we lost the enemy that had engaged our attention for decades. The military lost so much of the meaning of life that suicide became common. We tried China on for size as a potential adversary, but then decided to use them to produce our goods. It took a long time and a series of increasingly serious attacks to convince us that terrorism was a real threat. Finally, 9/11 pushed us over the edge. But even as we plunged into mass depression, many of us felt that there were too many loose ends in the explanations. The upshot is that the threat of terrorism simply did not have the staying power as the threat of monolithic communism. Even if terrorism is real, it does not have a border and does not wear uniforms. As the Iraq War went on, the pictures from Abu Ghraib, the stories from Gitmo, the estimates of civilian deaths, and the accounts of the misery of daily life in Iraq have given us pause. We have not forgotten that they fabricated evidence to justify the war, and that WMDs were never found in significant, much less usable, quantities. We have not forgotten the constant assaults on our freedom, made in the name of promoting freedom elsewhere. We are not forgetting the many wounded who are increasingly confronting us on the streets of our cities and towns. We are not persuaded by the carefully crafted sophisms of a president who refuses to confront the carnage he has caused. Like Alan Greenspan, we always knew that it was about oil. Do we really need oil so bad that we are willing to commit huge crimes to get it? As this war continues, we look into the mirror every morning and ask ourselves, what else can we do to stop this madness when the people who are in power won't? We get no answer, and we turn away in sorrow and shame and go out into this world of blood and tears that has been made in our name.